that if anyone misses it, that one day, they can just rewatch later. We've got bongo drums going. Okay, cool. So I had some notes of a couple of things I was going to just cover off quickly, and one of the main things I've been working through with my team is just goal setting stuff. So at the start of the year, I mean, I kind of like to do goal setting every single month, but at the start of the year especially is a really good time to do goal setting. So I kind of do it on like a quarterly basis. We'll pretty much for the end of January, end of March, end of June, when we're which will technically fall into like when we're at conference, and then end of December. So it's not exactly quarterly, but that's kind of basically roughly what I'm looking at. So for you guys, that's going to come down to pretty much what you want to be earning at that point in time. So what you want your monthly check to be, and then therefore what that means for you. So for some people, that's going to be being able to cut down a day of work. For some people, that's going to be able to retire from your job completely. Everyone's totally different, but if you've got a goal in mind, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to be doing your daily tasks that you know you're working towards your goals. So I really think it's important for you guys to be working towards your goals with your team and knowing what their goals are. So if you've got a team, you've got like 2 people on your team, you want to know what their goals are for this month and then long term going forward. So I think we're going to find that conference is going to come around really quickly. So I definitely am trying to find out all of my team's goals for conference, and then if it's, you know, a club level or a promotion, it's not just that what club level or promotion do you want, it's kind of like what is that going to mean to you. So if they can tell you that, then you know what you're working towards as well. So that kind of makes it nice for you and nice for them, so you know where everyone's aiming. Sorry. So then as part of that, it's nice to do a vision board. So some of us have done vision boards already. And when you start to do a vision board, I think it's easy to do kind of like I've never done a vision board before. I'm not going to dream all that big on my vision board, but if you grab a vision board and start to think about, okay, what do I really want out of life? Like once we start to dream a little bit about it and, you know, tell ourselves every day that we deserve it and start working towards these things, they're way more likely to have, you know, be coming true. I mean, Kira and Adam have shown us that so many things on their vision boards have come true, and, you know, a lot of the things on my vision board have come true. But I think that the higher you set your goals, the more likely they are to come true. Sorry, I'm playing my dog out. And yeah, whether you're new or you've been in the business a little while, I think the vision board is just a really important tool. So up until now, I actually just had like basically like an electronic vision board. So I'd done it on my computer, but now I've done one where I'm printing everything out so I can cut it all out and stick it on a board. And I think actually physically doing that is a little bit different, because you're almost, you know, really putting together what your dreams are when you just do like a quick, you know, electronic one. I think that doesn't have quite as much meaning behind it. So I think it's nice to have something that you can sit when you're working every day, you know, you're about to jump on a Zoom call and say, you know, your kids are going crazy. You can look at your vision board and be like, well, this is why I'm doing this, you know, your kids or your husband who's always stressed out, or, you know, yourself, just what do you want for yourself? So just thinking more about that and dreaming bigger, and having those dreams that when you say to yourself, I can do that and I'm going to make that happen, it's way easier than if you're just kind of doing your Juice Plus business and thinking about, oh, you know, I'm going to get 2 customers. The vision is on a board and you can see it. I think that makes a big difference. The other thing I wanted to cover a little bit is starting strong. So obviously when you've got a new team member coming on board, if you can really help them, Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say they're making such a noise. Okay, cool. Thanks, Shan. If you've got a new team member, I think you really want to try and get them off the ground strong. So we can tell them to plug into training. We can tell them to listen to some personal development, those things. But if we can actually literally help them get their first couple of customers and first couple of teams, fairly soon after they start, then they're going to feel like they've got a couple of things on the board, and they're going to feel like, okay, I can do this, and they get confident, and they start to think, okay, this is, easy, I can do this. So, we talk about holding their hand a little bit and, meeting them halfway, or however you want to explain it, but they bring the people to us. We're there to really help them get the customer. I'll start with the customer as an example. So for what I do now for my team is, if I have a team member and they've been speaking to someone about the product, I'll just say, look, pop them in a message and let's have a chat to them. And we really try and get into speaking to the person and just finding out, what their goals are. We explain to them about the product. We explain to them about the program. But we do it face to face. We do it so that it's personal. So I know that talking to someone via Messenger is easy. It's comfortable. I've done it before. I've spoken to people on Messenger. I've sent them, what is Juice Plus? What is JBT? What is the pricing? Not forming a personal relationship. You're not really speaking to the person and finding out what do they want, what are their goals, how can we help you. So sometimes it's a little bit challenging for us to have to think about, oh my gosh, I have to speak to someone I don't know on the phone. But once you've done it a couple of times, you'll probably find that you kind of enjoy it, and it's a little bit of I've challenged myself. I've done it. My team members got their first customer. I'm so excited. And then they will do the same thing when they get their team members. So that they're going to feel more confident. They've seen what you've done, and at the end of the day, there's nothing bad that can happen to you guys by doing that. We can just asking them, what are your goals? And they might say, oh, I want more energy, or I want to lose some weight. And we just explain to them, this is what our program's about, what I experience, and they'll feel confident and comfortable about it. And you're much more likely to get a customer by speaking to them, whether it's by Zoom or on the phone, than if you were just messaging them. I think that can be time consuming. It's not simple. Like we talk about simplifying, that's not simple. It's easy, but it's not really simple. So I think that's really important. Obviously at this time of year, a lot of us are promoting the 8-week shred. So what I've been doing is checking in with a lot of the people I spoke to before the last shred, if they didn't go ahead, just to let them know the new one's starting. I'm letting all my current customers know. Anyone new that starts, I'm letting them know if they, jump on the program, they'll get access to the shred. I'm really using it as a tool for my business, and I really encourage you guys to harness the 8-week shred. I mean, $2,500 in prize money is a lot of money. They get access to the program forever. We've got promotional material from the last shred, like everyone's seen the results from the last shred. So we've got so much to work with there. I think that you can really harness that. Like everyone's looking at health programs, everyone's looking at what their goals are. So I really think that that can be a good tool for all of us, and even new team when they're starting to be able to use the 8-week shred. The only other thing I wanted to touch on, which was just about, obviously we've had franchise renewals come up this time of year, and a couple of people have had team members who haven't renewed. So I'm really trying to look at that as a positive or a negative, which is what I really try and do with everything. So, for example, I had a girl, and she hadn't really told me 100% whether she was going to renew or not, but I just really, I wanted to lead by example and just check in with her customers. So I just touched base with all of her customers, and I just said, just let you know if you have any questions or you need anything, you can get in touch with me. Like, we always want to show amazing customer care. I just said your next order is due on this date, and also let them know about the shred coming up. And a lot of them just wrote back and said, thanks so much, I love the product, or thanks very much, could you send me some information about the shred? So if someone's decided not to go ahead with the business, as much as we want to kind of say to them, perhaps if you want to be sure before you stop, or, we'd love to try and say to them, come on, keep going. But if they have decided, it's not for them, try and turn it into a bit of a positive and just make sure their customers are still being looked after. I think that's really important. So now I'll get someone who's got a question. You can either just pop it in the chat box or just fire out any questions, and we can just, I'll help you with anything I can.
Erin,
Michelle?
it's Michelle. When you're talking about when you're talking to potential customers, and I've had a lot of trouble getting people on the phone. Can you maybe give me some advice on what's a good way to ask them to get them on the phone?
Yeah, so quite often what you can say is if you've kind of used the scripts and you've gotten to the stage where they've shown an interest, you can say the best way to explain it might be to have a chat on the phone. I think for some people going to the hopping on the phone is probably going to be a more comfortable option than getting on like a Zoom, because some people are a bit intimidated by that. So it's really just, I guess, letting them know that you're just going to, answer the questions, run through what the program is, and just see if it's going to fit with what they're after.
Yeah, that's what I do, but they either stop talking to me or they just don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like generally, maybe it could be like a slight tweak in the wording that we use, but I guess at the end of the day, the reason you want to speak to them on the phone is to help them. It's not to help you.
Yeah.
Just taking it off a messenger to really make it more personal. So we can have a look at kind of like some of the verbiage, but I don't think it's anything you're doing wrong. Perhaps for some reason they're just kind of feeling like it's something scary or something, even though it's not.
Yeah.
So you can just reassure them that, you just wanted to, maybe check in with what their goals are, see how you can help and explain a bit more about the program.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can just check if like in your message, if you're saying like a phone or like three-way call or something like that, there might be something in there that we can slightly change the wording that might help.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
But generally, I think the faster you take it from a message chat or whatever to a phone call, the easier it's going to be. And like for us, it's a bit of a jump out of our comfort zone to start talking to someone on the phone. But once you, there's actually like part of the script goes through what to say on the phone call, and it's primarily focusing on what their goals are, because I think it's so much easier to be able to lead with the program than to be, having to focus everything on what the product is. And, we want to explain the product, but we want to explain the overall about the program as well. I think that's just a really big part of it, that sometimes people kind of focus a lot on the product, but don't think about the other part of it, which is the program that we want to explain. There's recipes, workouts, the support group and all of that with it. And then they get access to it forever, and that you're kind of their support person on their health journey and all of that side as well. But I'll help you with that, Shell, if there's something in there that we can have a look at that they might be sort of feeling for some reason like nervous about chatting or something.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, cool. Anyone else? I see you, Joe.
Could I just ask a question as well, Erin?
Yeah, hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I have the same issue, but I have it with the three-way chat, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I kind of feel like I have all this interest, and then I suggest a three-way chat, and then they go, whoa, and like get intimidated by it. So I tried doing a couple of Zooms on my own, which seemed to work, but I don't want to get into the habit of doing that, obviously, because I know the three-way call really works. So what would you suggest there? Like, I don't know whether I'm just not building the relationship enough, or what it is.
Is that more for the?
Again, it's probably the verbiage.
Yeah, it could be a slight change to the verbiage. Was that more for the product or the business?
It's for the business, definitely. I'm fine with products. Like I've got customers. I'm just struggling with getting team, and I find that that's always kind of where it goes wrong.
Sometimes it's like the thing that we're a little bit afraid of doing is blocking our business.
Yeah, totally. I think it is that actually.
So that, the thing we're afraid of is the thing that kind of comes up. Like you're afraid of someone saying no, and then that's what's going to happen. So the more you're kind of, oh my gosh, what if they say no? Then they're going to, so when you're feeling a bit more relaxed about it, then it all kind of flows a bit better. Where when you're like I had a girl once and she was like, oh my God, she was talking about her business. She's like, I just can't sell to people. I can't do this selling. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not selling, you're sharing. And that was really a block for her because she thought in her mind she was selling. And it could be a similar thing where you think, oh my God, what if they don't want to get on the call? And then when you put it in the message, then that's what kind of happens because you're almost like preempting it.
No, I get what you mean.
Like your mind, you're a bit more relaxed about it. Okay, this is just the next step in the process. You're interested in the business, love to have a chat. So I definitely wouldn't try and do those business calls by yourself because that's really why you need, one of the other girls to help and lead that call. Where if you do it just yourself and the prospect, it's kind of missing link that's going to help to really pull it across the line. So we can work on that as well, but I think maybe sometimes it's like that thing you're a bit anxious about can be what happens, and then you kind of miss the flow of it, so then it makes it a little bit harder.
I get that.
And it could just be a slight tweak to what you're saying, and so the person just feels like, okay, that sounds like that's what the next step is in the process, where sometimes your message might sound a bit more like, oh, would you like to chat or not, kind of thing. Next
step in the process is good. I'm going to write that down right now.
Or you just say like the next, the best thing would be to have a chat and help to answer any of your questions.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
No worries. Sorry. Did anyone else have a question?
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
So I have one team member that didn't start so well, but now she's in big action.
Cool.
And we're thinking about restarting her.
Mm-hmm.
She may have a potential teammate. Would now be the right time to restart her?
Yeah, so pretty much with the restarts, there's no actual time pressure to get the restart done. So what we normally do is hold off until they've got their active team member up and running and they've kind of got a bit of momentum happening in their business. And we can always backdate the restart. So it's a similar thing where I try and look at the restart as a really positive thing. So I've had people in my business and, they've done all the groundwork. They've been working really hard behind the scenes, but their business just didn't take off right at the start. And then the restart is basically like head office just gives us another chance to say, okay, my business is kind of kick-started now. I'm ready to go and I'm going to restart as if, it's like a imaginary restart on your business. They're allowing you to get back to the start and still pick up your bonuses. So you know that, okay, now I've got active team, I've got someone I'm really working closely with who's motivated and, wants to do the business. So you don't have to actually physically time it from your end. You can always backdate it and just head office will be able to capture the best timing in terms of capturing all the orders when the team member started. So that's another thing we can just have a look at. But I would definitely encourage anyone who's in that position, if they can do a restart, then they can go back and pick up those early bonuses that they might have missed. And before they're often running and collecting more bonuses and more promotions anyway. So it's same thing. It's a real big positive.
So are you saying that we should wait for her team member to get more momentum in her business before we restart her?
Not necessarily. What we'll probably do is when the team member starts, we'll just see where they're at with points, and we can give head office a call, and they'll kind of give us an indication of, say, for example, we're going to restart from such and such a date. All they need at this stage is, you know, two more premium orders before the end of the month to pick up like SDVF or something, and they'll tell us, and we'll know where we're at with it. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think once we get the, like, as in just treat it as normal, like move forward as normal, getting the team member up and running, and then head office will help us with the timing of it all.
Okay. Thanks.
No worries. But yeah, anyone who's got a team member who didn't start off strong and now they've got stuff starting to happen in their business, I would definitely recommend a restart, because like I've had people restart, go from you know, virtual franchisee to SC, you know, 2 months later, and then practically to SSC really fast. So there's no, it's just because they've done the groundwork. It took a while to get off the ground, and then it's all their work started to pay off. So that can happen heaps, and it's like head office gives us a bonus. Ronnie. Oh, sorry, Joe, that's you. Yeah, I might give you guys some help with the verbiage on that sort of stuff about getting people on the calls, because I think partly it can be, yeah, like our anxiety about it as well, kind of somehow the people that pick up on it. So when we're more relaxed, yeah, no worries, let's just come on a call and have a chat. And, even like one team member I had recently, she was talking to someone and I just said, okay, let's just get the person on a call. I did all the talking on the call, wasn't in, and then she got her first customer and it was like done. Whereas she might have kind of been trying to speak to the person by messaging for like weeks and weeks and maybe not necessarily have gotten that customer. And then it just, I guess it's all about simplifying. So that just makes it way easier. Who else is on? Who else is hiding? I think the other thing that's good to start to have a think about is like how many team members you want to take to conference, because I know lots of girls who came to conference last year with like no team, and then now they're talking about coming to conferences like 20 people. So, you know, don't feel like a business might not be huge right now, that it can't be like even by conference this year or conference next year. I went to my first conference with no team, and then I don't even know how many came last year. So that sort of stuff is like nice to start to dream a little bit bigger as well. Like there might just be you now, but you never know. You could have like even 5 people or something at conference would be pretty cool. So starting to kind of dream some of that stuff up a little bit more too. Sorry, I thought my kids would be a bit more under control. Does anyone else have any questions? Shan? No? What else do I see? Jane, how are you? All right, well, if no one else has got any other questions, I guess we'll jump off. Maybe everyone's a bit shy tonight. But I'm happy to do a QA whether we make it Sunday or Monday night. It's just nice to have a bit of interaction so everyone can ask questions. And a lot of the time, questions that we're answering are things that, you know, there's heaps of other people wondering the same thing or having the same sort of challenges. So don't feel like if you're ever having a challenge in the business that you're the only one. There's often other people having similar challenges and similar things that we want to kind of work through. So don't ever feel like you're alone, and there's always someone you can reach out to and chat to, even if you know, you need to go to a sideline or an upline. There's always someone there to help you. You can reach pretty much all the way up, or message anyone anytime, and there's a lot of support for you guys. So yeah, I just encourage you guys to really start to set some goals for your own businesses. And the more you decide this is what I'm doing, and the more you kind of make that decision, you know, I want that next promotion, or I want my next new team member, or I want my amazing rock star team member, then that's more likely to happen. So start to kind of talk yourself up a bit. All right, everyone, we'll have a great night, and I'm going to jump onto Adam and Kira's event now as well. So hope I'll see a few of you guys on there as well.
Thanks, Erin.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Erin.